Wild River, Chapter 26, Hands from Heaven. Your life is supposed to flash before you if you're about to die. What flashes before me is my family. My little brothers, Phil, John, and Mark. In my mind, they're laughing, which is something they do a lot. Mom looks worried because that's typical of her, and Dad is apologizing as usual. Sorry, son. I'll get better, I promise. I miss them so much. Then do something to stay alive. Try harder. I'm below the surface of a raging river, tangled in a rope. The broken raft is dragging me under. Holding my breath feels like a big clamp tightening on my chest. In about 5 seconds, I'll drown. The surge of terror gives me enough strength to pull my arm free of the rope. I bob to the surface just long enough to take a breath. Then one of the tumbling logs bumps me back under. Got to get away from the logs! I'm kicking with all my might, struggling to keep my head above the waves. But like I said, I'm not much of a swimmer. I hate it when the water goes up my nose. That was my excuse for avoiding swimming lessons. It doesn't help that I can't see. Which way to the shore? No idea. No idea about much of anything other than staying alive. The dog paddle is getting me nowhere. My body decides to quit trying to escape from the raging current. Keeping my head up requires all of my strength. I'm fighting the river that wants to pull me under. The crazy, crazy river. The river that killed the grown-ups has decided to kill the kids, which doesn't make any sense. A river can't think, but my brain is so confused and dizzy that it's looking for reasons not to die. Don't give up. Keep bobbing, grabbing a breath when you can. Daniel Redmayne, don't let go. Remember who you are. Who cares about you? Stay alive. Use your panic to keep breathing. Don't inhale the water, no matter how tempted you are. Keep kicking. Keep rising. Grab air when you can. I'm trying, but part of me says to give up. It's too exhausting. My strength is fading. The river will put me to sleep. The crazy, crazy river promises it won't hurt. Crazy, crazy. Sorry, Dad. I understand now that you've been in your own crazy river struggling to stay alive. Thank you for trying so hard. Sorry, but I'm going to give up and go to sleep. Take a nap. The water will be my pillow. The river will rock me to sleep. It sings to me, a beautiful chorus of watery voices. Daniel, Daniel, let it go. Go to sleep. Daniel, Daniel. Shh. Sleep is waiting. Nothing to fear. Daniel, Daniel. That's it. It's over. I'm fading away. The light glowing through the water is so soft and beautiful. I'm not afraid. I'm letting go. And then 2 hands from heaven reach through the glowing water, and they lift me out of the river and bring me back to life. It hurts. Chapter 27, Friends for Life. The air is sweet, but I swallowed so much water I can barely inhale. Mia and Amani encourage me to get on my hands and knees so I can cough up the water. That's the part that hurts. Eventually, there's nothing left to cough up, and I start breathing like a normal person. Wow, is all I can manage to say. Mia giggles. Wow, he says. And wow it is. Amani did it, Daniel. She figured out how to save you. Thank you. It was amazing. We're racing along the shore trying to keep up with you, but the river kept taking you away. Amani goes, not on my watch, and then she scrambles up the ravine, runs across to the next bend, and waits for you to drift by. Amani shrugs as if it's no big deal. The shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. Just cut through the curve and there you were. However you figured it out, you saved my life for sure. Like you saved ours, more than once. Mia leaps to her feet. Come on, I've got an idea and it's really, really important. I get to my feet, still a bit woozy and weak in my knees. Join hands, Mia commands. We link our hands. I'm feeling kind of shy, and Amani is acting cautious, but Mia's enthusiasm is contagious. This is a friendship circle, a sacred friendship circle that can never be broken. We have survived by relying on each other, by trusting each other, by saving each other. What we have shared makes us friends for life, not for a summer or for a school year, for life. I'm still soaking wet, so I'm pretty sure no one notices the tears in my eyes. I've never had friends like these two, not even close. The amazing thing is, Mia managed to keep hold of the backpack. When they got ejected from the raft and landed on the shore, it was firmly strapped around her shoulders. A lot of the stuff inside got pretty damp, but we'd been expecting that. Damp is what we are all the time. I'm almost afraid to take off my shoes and look at my feet because it feels like mushrooms are growing between my toes, or maybe webs like a duck. Anyhow, we make another fire to help dry our clothes and boil water for the freeze dried. Mia says after our ordeal we need calories. Once I get a whiff of cooked rice, my belly starts begging to be fed. I'd almost forgotten how hungry I was before the raft dragged me underwater. That explains the weakness in my knees and the woozy feeling, almost as much as nearly drowning. We're half starved. To be truthful, the food in the pouch tastes gunky, but nobody cares. We wolf it down, breathing through our noses and grunting with satisfaction. When I've had my fill, I lie back and groan. That was the best meal I've ever had. Better than pancakes and sausage. Ew! Amani makes a face. Sausage is disgusting. Do you know what's in sausage? No, and please don't tell me. Starving people eat all kinds of revolting things: beetles, ants, worms, anything to stay alive. The Donner Party ate each other. That's how hungry they were. No way, you're making that up. True story. A wagon train of settlers heading west. They got stuck in the mountains, snowed in for the winter with not enough food, so they improvised. Both girls go, ew! Don't worry, I could never be a cannibal. I'd rather die than eat liver of any kind. That gets them laughing. What a day this has been. Almost dying, but somehow surviving and making friends for life. And making them laugh. That's the icing on the cake. What none of us know is that the fun is about to end in the worst possible way. Chapter 28, One for All and All for One. The meal makes us stronger, no doubt about it. Humans need fuel. I mean, duh, right? But for some reason, I never understood what it meant to be starving. Really starving, not just hungry because you missed snack time. The meal also makes one of us more talkative. You know what? Amani says as we resume our march beside the river. We're a team, right? And teams have a name. I vote we call ourselves the Dream Team. Where does that come from? Mia asks. She grins, her eyes lighting up. My dad is a huge basketball fan, and the original Dream Team is his favorite of all time. The team that won the 1992 Olympics. He watches the final game every year on his birthday, and every year he stands up and cheers when they win. I like it, Mia says. Daniel, are you kidding? I've never been on any team, never mind a dream team. It's an honor. I'm not really a loner type, but I don't have many friends, and until now, none of them were girls. Plus, I don't have a sister, so basically, I'm clueless about girls. But it turns out having two wicked smart, courageous girls for friends is totally great. It's like we've been friends forever, even before we knew each other. Doesn't make sense, but that's how it feels. For instance, it doesn't seem weird at all that Mia likes to turn things into funny, cheerful songs, especially when we're hiking. That's who she is. One for all and all for one, she sings. Keep on walking and have some fun. Please stop raining, come on, sun. One for all and all for one. Amani joins in, and when I don't, she nudges me. Sorry. I sound like a frog. Come on, froggy, sing! I do, and they think it's hilarious. But that's fine with me, because I love to make them laugh. Because I know in my heart they're not laughing at me, we're laughing together. One for all and all for one. What a beautiful idea. We make good progress, tramping the shoreline until the shoreline ends. As it comes to a curve, the river widens all the way to the ravine wall. We have to go back up top. Amani finds us a path, and we carefully work our way along it, using a rope for safety. The path is steep, and the ravine is high in this part of the river, at least 50 feet. Makes me wish I had hiking boots instead of soggy running shoes. But I don't, so I have to make do. One step at a time. Don't slip. Slip and you're dead, or at least broken. Reminds me that we're on the edge of the ravine wall and the edge of life. Break an ankle, and it's all over. I decide if something happens to me, if I get injured, I'll tell the girls to go on without me. Send back a rescue crew when you get there. I'll be fine. I won't be, but that's what I'll tell them. The top, when we get there, is heavily wooded, a forest of tall pine trees. The floor of the forest is thick with fresh smelling pine needles. Let's take a breather, I suggest. Mia is dropping the backpack to the ground when a screaming attack explodes from behind the trees. Die! 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 The enemy is upon us. Chapter 29. All the way down. Deke charges like a linebacker attacking a dummy, and I'm the dummy, slammed to the ground so hard it knocks the wind out of me. Before I can react, he has me pinned. I'm not strong enough to break free and can only watch as Tony pushes Mia down and snatches up the backpack. I got it! I got it! He shouts gleefully. From out of nowhere, Amani swarms Deke, jumping on his back. Her eyes are fierce. Let him go, you big bully! Let him go! Deke shakes her off and leers at me. I never knew she cared. Is she your little girlfriend, Daniel? Kissing. Amani says, You are such a jerk. We left food for you. Doesn't that count for anything? Deke laughs, very pleased with himself. That was fine while it lasted, but we're hungry again. You had your chance. It's my turn, and by the law of the jungle, I take what I want. Law of the jungle? She's scornful. It means survival of the fittest. The strongest survive, and that's me. Mia shouts, Tony, don't! You're too close! Get back! She's worried because Tony is prancing along the edge of the cliff, dangerously close. He swings the backpack back and forth, back and forth. Deke! Deke! Look at me! He twirls around like the pack is a hammer he's about to toss. Then, so quick I almost don't see it happen, his feet slip on the pine needles. As he loses his balance, he drops the pack and tries to regain his footing, but it's too late. Tony falls over the edge. He screams all the way down. Chapter 30. Say hello to Deacon Bailey. After the scream, there's nothing but silence. Terrible silence. We're shocked into silence too, because something too awful to think about has happened. That scream, it changes the world. It changes everything. I crawl over to the edge and look. Tony lies at the bottom of the ravine, twisted and broken between two boulders. He's not moving. A wavy, sick feeling passes from my head to my belly. It's all I can do not to throw up. I better check, I announce, my voice shaking. Maybe he's still alive. Mia says, Don't, Daniel. What if you fall too? I won't. I'm as careful as possible finding my way down the cliff, from handhold to foothold. Concentrate on what you're doing. Don't think too far ahead. Taking my time because I dread what I'll find when I get there. I've never seen a dead body. The thought terrifies me, but someone has to do it. Tony Meeks was acting stupid and showing off, but he doesn't deserve to be abandoned. And maybe, just maybe, he's still alive. At the bottom, I take a deep, shuddering breath and steel myself to the task. The boulders where he fell are not far away. The first thing I see are his feet, sticking out from behind the rock, utterly and completely still. I'm not an expert, but I don't really think anyone could survive a 50-foot fall onto rocks. It turns out I'm right, but it's still hard to believe. Minutes ago, he was dancing on the edge of the cliff, alive and full of mischief. Now he's gone, truly gone. The thing that surprises me, that shocks me almost as much as the incident, is that Tony isn't there. The body he left behind is badly damaged, but empty of poor Tony. I make myself find his wrist and feel for a pulse just to be sure. Nothing. The body is limp and lifeless. He's gone. Amani shouts from the cliff top, Daniel? Anything? I shake my head. Take a deep breath. I'm going to pile some rocks around to protect him from animals. Are you and Mia okay? Not really, but we're hanging in. What about Deke? He's not going anywhere. I'm not sure what that means, but first things first. I gather smooth rocks and stones from along the riverbank and carry them to Tony's temporary grave. Temporary. because I'm sure his family will want him closer. It takes a long time to gather enough stones, but I keep at it, like a robot following my own commands. Don't stop until it's done. He made a horrible mistake trying to impress Deke, but he deserves to be treated like a human, and humans care for their dead. Don't think about it, Daniel, just do it. When the stones are in place, I search for a suitable branch to serve as a marker. I prop the branch upright between the stones. Then I close my eyes and say a prayer. God, if you hear this, please welcome Tony. I'm as careful going up the cliff as I was coming down. No hurry now. Making sure my feet don't slip. Getting a good grip with my hands. A light rain is falling, so that makes it slippery. Amani peers over the edge, keeping an eye on my progress. She looks worried but doesn't say anything, so not as to make me more nervous. At the top, she takes my hand and helps me to level ground. I expect her to drop my hand, but she doesn't. Daniel, that was a good thing you did. A brave thing. I shrug. Speaking would disturb the lump in my throat. Follow me, Amani says, still holding my hand. Mi is waiting for us in the woods, where she's rigged the blue tarp and is feeding wood to a small campfire. Say hello to the boy responsible for Tony's death, she says, her voice tight and angry. Deacon Bailey has been tied to a tree. His chin is on his chest, and he's crying like a baby. Chapter 31. Make a promise to yourself. Mia folds her arms around her chest. Everything has changed, she announces. We knew all along our struggle was dangerous, and now the worst has happened. The question is, what do we do about it? Tell the police, I suggest. Do you see any police? Sure, once we've been rescued, we tell the police, but until then, it's up to us. What exactly is up to us? Amani asks uneasily. Mia points at Deke. Does he stay or does he go? Do we leave him tied to the tree and go on our way? Or do we cut him loose knowing he may attack us again? I look at Deke, who appears to be suffering. Maybe he's learned his lesson. Maybe, Mia says, but not like she believes it. That's what we need to decide. Can he be trusted? It's important that all of us agree, sort of like a jury examining the evidence. That seems fair, Amani says. Daniel? I guess. Mia kneels, warming her hands at the campfire. Before we hold this trial, I have a surprise. She holds out a packet of instant hot chocolate. I've been saving this for a special time. I'm ashamed to admit that my mouth waters. I just buried someone I knew. That's no time to celebrate, is it? This isn't about celebration, Mia says, as if she's reading my mind. It's about energy. Hot water, powdered chocolate, and sugar will help us think clearly. I'm not so sure about that, but I am not about to disagree. Mia boils water, adds the packet, and stirs with a stick. Careful! Hot! Hot! She pours cups for Amani and me and herself, and then she pours one more cup. Daniel, do you mind? In case he has a trick up his sleeve, you're the strongest. I seriously doubt that. Secretly, I'm flattered they think I'm strong. I carry the extra cup to where Deke is tied to the tree. Dude, do you want some? He nods. I can't untie you, but you'll have to let me hold the cup. He nods again. I've never seen anyone look so miserable as he sips from the cup, not meeting my eyes, but staring a million miles away. The strange thing is, less than an hour ago, I was frightened of Deke, and now I feel sorry for him. No amount of fame or money would persuade me to trade places with Deacon Bailey. Part of me wants to tell him that, but I don't. Too mean. I'm sick of mean. Mean is what started the war. Mean is what got us here holding a trial about a dead boy. Mean sucks, and I want no part of it. Looking at Deke, who is miserable and also the cause of misery, I make a promise to myself. No matter what happens, I will not let myself to be cruel to a fellow human being.